everyone, welcome to my garden. So I am working in a garden. I've been working in a garden almost every day. We had some really crazy weather. We had very, very high winds for about almost 10 days, sweetie. So 10 days of wind. I mean, I wasn't able to get as much done as I was planning to do, but the biggest things that I've accomplished ever since I got back from the US is that my goal was to get all the roses pruned, all the hydrangeas pruned as much as possible to get the pruning part done, because for our zone, we are zone 8B in France, and for us, honestly, the pruning should have been done probably early February, maybe a little earlier than that. And then I just wanted to let you know, looks like we have a second kitty, and I think we are going to adopt him. Our cat is not, his name is, I named him Baby because that's what I was calling him when he arrived. And so we have the second one. Ours is not that happy to have him around. He's getting a little stressed. But this little kitty is so sweet, and he used to belong to our neighbors across the street. They moved not too far from here, so they took him with them, but he's keep running back here. So we actually communicated yesterday, and I said, if that's okay, I can have him here. He's really happy here, so I think he's gonna probably be staying with us. I hope it all works out. They're still kind of keeping their distance, not really happy. This guy is more friendly than mine. Mine is just really not happy about it, but I'm really hoping that they will get used to one another. And actually, I really do enjoy him. He's walking around and keeping me company everywhere in the garden, so I'm just gonna try to keep him. He's so sweet. Anyway, we don't have a name. I think he has a French name. I'll find out more because it looks like they will bring his papers to me soon, so I'll know more about him, but looks like I'm going to keep him. So anyway, back to what I'm doing today. First, many of you guys know that I was in the US for 4 months visiting family, and my garden is literally a mess. I'm trying to put it back together, but I feel like I'm having progress, and I'm not too worried about it, honestly, because gardening shouldn't be a stressful thing. I just want to, bed by bed, go through and take care of things. So I got through all my pruning. This is the really good thing. I got through all my pruning, and that was the more of a pressing task, I guess, that I had to get done. Then my next thing is now going through bed by bed, basically removing all the weeds, because you can see I have a ton of weeds in the garden, and I wanted today to kind of go around with you and show you some things that are actually blooming and beautiful. There are quite a few things that are looking really good. Also, we're going to go through pruning peony. I have pruned all of the peonies. I left one that I wanted to do with you. Actually, a couple of them. There are two different kinds of peonies that I was gonna prune with you today. I have some hydrangeas to prune. Also, we have clematis here that I wanted to prune with you, because you can see I got one done. This one I need to prune, and I'll show you how to prune this today. Also, I have some dahlias that I'm going to plant in my containers. Usually in our zone, dahlias come back every year, so I'm not worried about taking them out of the ground, etc. For me, if they come back, they come back. I'll just I just plant more the following year. So I'm not really, it's not something that I want. The digging is not something I want to do, digging and taking home and taking care of them. And this year, I think what I'd like to do is plant them in containers, keep them in a warm inside of the house. We have a nice area where we have plenty of light that I can probably keep there, and hopefully they can get some growth before I can plant them in the garden, see if I can get ahead of the schedule a little bit. Then here I'm going to plant some caladiums, again doing the same thing. I have some in here already, and I'm going to plant some more. This is a container that I have, there's holes on it, and I'm just going to plant all the bulbs and see what happens, and then I'll bring them out. Okay, so we started having rain on and off. We had to stop the video, come back to it again. So first, what I'd like to do is just go ahead and get our caladiums in, because they really need to get planted. So I already planted few because they just really didn't look very good. They were molding, and I'm not sure if these guys will do okay too. But for the caladium, so this is what this one probably is. I'm going to place it here, but you know, I don't know if it's going to work. This one is not a good example, but for example, this one looks really good, and it does have some mold on it. I'm hoping that that's not going to be a problem. But the way we plant our caladium bulbs is the flat part down. So this is where the growth is actually. Oh, look, it's already starting to happen. Look right there. Okay, this is great. So anyway, I'm going to plant, and you don't have to plant very deeply. You know, they don't need to be planted deep. It's as long as, see, this is the flat part here, and this is where the growth is going to happen. As long as they're in a warm place, because they have to be warm in order to start growing, and I'm going to get head start with them to keep them. Oh, look, no. To keep them growing before I take them out. I had really good luck with them last year, and I was very excited about it. I love caladiums. They're so beautiful. Oh. So the caladiums, I just wanted to show you, this is what they look like. There are several, I think they're a mix. They have different colors. The pinks and whites I forgot to show you because the rain, I'm trying to rush so we don't get wet. Oh, sun is coming out.
For now.
For now. The weather is not cooperating with us at all lately. Yay. Glad we got this done. So it needs to go, I think. This is it. Okay. Yay. So one thing down. We finished this one. Then what I'm going to do is start on my dahlias. So I have a few different dahlias, a few different variety here. This one is called Dahlia. This one is an Icelander, and this one was so beautiful. I haven't had one of those. This is kind of like a dinner plate, I think, really large one. We will pop the picture so you guys can see what it looks like. This one is Dahlia Bishop of Landolph, right here. And this one is Nuit d'été. This one is a Nuit d'été. This one is a really dark red one, and look, it's starting to grow already. I don't have lots of reds, and I really like reds, so I'm going to plant a few of the reds. Okay, we'll get this into our containers. And I have 4 of each. There's 4 in each bag. Let's get them out. Always check your dahlias to see what they look like. Aha. So here it is. So you can see right here, there is the eye. This is how we plant them. So I haven't done this before. This is the first time I'm trying to go about this way. But, you know, I think it might be helpful to get them a little farther ahead. And before, this might be small for it even. Oh, this might be small. This might not be a good idea. No, these ones are, let me see. this is what I was going to plant in, but unfortunately as I opened, they are quite big. You can see there's no way I'm going to for them to fit into this container, so I went ahead and got small one, and I don't have to fill up the whole way, so as long as they're covered, they don't have to be, you know, planted really deeply. But you can see the eyes are coming out. I'm really excited. So these are this is the Dahlia Nuit, and George also mentioned that we should say it in English, so that means summer night, what it means. So it's deep red, almost dark deep red. I'm having trouble today. Okay, so I finished planting. These three are the Dahlias Nuit. It's actually Detsia. It's not that, and it's called Summer Night with a dark, almost black red. I think it's going to be really pretty, and I don't have many red, so the three got planted here. 4 of the Icelanders here, and then Lady of Bishop, I think that's what it's called. I ran out of soil, so the last one didn't get planted, and a part of this one I didn't have enough soil, which we'll go ahead and buy right after this video. We'll get that finished, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But at the moment, let's just go ahead and prune those peonies so I can show you how we can get this done. There's so much noise around today. Our neighbors are cutting trees, so we had to stop the video for a little bit and wait until they're finished, and the rain is coming. So anyway, but this is the bed I've been working on yesterday. You can see I cleared out the weeds. I think I got to about here. You can see what it used to be, what it was like. So this was my almost half a day of work yesterday to get to here. So hopefully as soon as I can get to it, the weather cooperates, I can get through there. And I did prune all this peony. Now if many of you guys been following my videos, I do have several different kinds of peonies, and I love peonies. Now this is the intersectional peonies, and many people have questions about intersectional herbaceous or the tree peonies. There's 3 different varieties. So this particular one is intersectional. It's called Coral Louise. It's very beautiful. We'll pop the picture for you to see. It has a light lavender petals with a dark almost dark purple centers. They're very, very pretty. But I wanted to show you how the different the pruning requirements are for the herbaceous peonies, for tree peonies, and for the intersectional peonies. Because for the intersectional peonies, you can see how woody shrub it gets versus to the herbaceous peonies. And I can show you, I left one here so I can prune it with you, and you can see how herbaceous peonies, like this one's called Coral Sunset, and one of my absolute favorite peony. It's a hybrid and it's very, very beautiful. So I have few here, you can see, and look at these daffodils, aren't they just so gorgeous? Oh, this look, the Japanese maples are starting to leaf out. This one is called Mila, and it's very, very pretty. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so let me show you. For the herbaceous peonies, you can see that everything comes out from the bottom, from the soil up. There is no woody shrubs, and actually it is better if you can prune your peonies in the fall. For me, I had to go right away and very unexpectedly, so I couldn't do all the work that I needed to do for my fall work. So unfortunately, I'm doing it now. And the reason why it's better for you to prune yours, or at least not fully prune, but at least remove all the debris and the leaves, etc., from the peonies, is because they are susceptible to mildew and fungus. So it is safer to clean them out in the fall so they don't stay in a wet, there is a noise again, but I hope you guys can hear me. Is it too loud? Can you hear? So I hope you can hear me, because they're cutting trees. But you can see right here, I'm cutting them right above the soil where they keep popping up, because the eyes are actually coming from the bottom. And all you have to do is just remove the dead branches like this. Clean out, make sure that all of these leaves are picked up. And usually for the fertilizing, I fertilize in the fall. I like doing that because it feeds the peony bulb during the all winter, and then they have a really beautiful blooms pushing up. But I didn't have time to do it this time, so I will wait until fall. Okay, so it got really, really noisy because our neighbors were cutting trees. I apologize about that. So I hope you heard everything, but if you didn't hear everything, basically I was talking about the herbaceous peonies, and for the herbaceous peonies, you can see that they come out from the ground, and anything above the ground that from last year just needs to be removed. Basically the eyes come out fully from the ground up. And for the Ito peonies, which is the intersectional peonies, and I left one to prune this with you just so you can see. So this one, as I mentioned, called Coral Louise, and it's very, very beautiful variety, one of my favorites. And you can see how the eyes, they come out almost on top of their branches. So you have to be really careful, making sure that you prune them correctly. These are very, very nice peonies. They are investment, but they are just absolutely beautiful. They don't need staking because you can see they have a really strong branches to support them. So, and as I said, usually I prune my peonies not fully, but just lightly prune and remove all the leaves in the fall, and I fertilize them in the fall because I think they fit their bulb really well all winter long, and then they push out really beautiful blooms. But unfortunately last fall I had to leave very quickly. I wasn't able to get that done, so this spring I'm not going to fertilize them, and then I'm going to fertilize them again in the fall. So at this point you can assess, you can see where they need to be pruned from, because first so I just kind of start from the top and work my way down because it will be easier to get in there. You have to be really careful. Pruning them in the spring is it's a little harder because their eyes can be damaged easily, so you have to be really careful with them, because you can see all of these eyes are the blooms, and If you damage them, you will not have blooms. So here I'm going to start with all the dead wood, because anything above the buds are pretty much dead. So so like this one is alive, but I could have probably pruned right here. Sometimes it's hard to assess, but that part is okay. It will come up again. You can see the difference. So this is dead, and this was live. You can see right here. For example, I did a wrong cut. I could have cut them right here because this one was live, but it's okay. That's not a problem. And so I just basically remove everything pretty much above the buds. So this one, you see, and sometimes when you're not sure, you can start working your way down. Like this one, I wanted to cut all the way to here, but I was scared that this might be live. So I went ahead and cut a little above, and I'm looking at it right now, and you can see that's dead. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that all the way down.
Say something on your mic. Say something on your mic.
Hello?
Do it again.
Hello? Okay, so you can see this is how it gets pruned. This is so intersectional peony is a lot different from the herbaceous peony, because you can see the eyes are coming out from the ground up also, and then many are coming on the branches. So when you're pruning the ether, you need to make sure that you don't cut completely down, because this is where you will have all the flowers. And some varieties do come up more from the ground. So for example, this particular one, you can see it's coming out quite a bit from the ground, but also we have a stem, not as many. This one is a little more woody. And then also there is another variety which is a tree peony, and I wanted to show you the tree peony, what it's like as well, because the tree peony is more of a shrub, and this particular one here, for example, this is a tree peony, and you can see this tree peony is actually a shrub, tall shrub. They probably will get about 6 feet tall probably. I have another one right here which has quite a few blooms on it, and these ones are pretty much these ones they don't come up from the ground at all. But for example, this one, see, the only thing that needs to be removed is just the dead wood, and that's all. Very similar to the Ito peony, to the intersectional, but these ones just don't have as many. But you can see how many buds. Something ate the top of this one, and this is the interesting part. If you wanted to know if it's a Ito or intersectional or tree peony, they have more pointed buds. You can see right here, they look like more of a hazelnut looking, because it has that pointed one. But the herbaceous peonies, they don't. Herbaceous peonies, like these ones are herbaceous peonies. They're called ball of beauty, and you see how they're coming up from the ground up, and they will have a very round buds. Itos, intersectionals, and the tree peonies, they will have that pointed but I just wanted to bring your attention to this magnolia that's starting to bloom. Isn't this just so beautiful? This year I have lots of flowers on this magnolia. This one is called Magnolia Roseanne, and it's really beautiful. Flowers seem a little smaller this year. Other years they have been a lot bigger, but I don't know if, maybe it's just there is a lot of them. Probably need to feed the tree a little more too. So anyway, let's go ahead and trim the hydrangeas, and I'll show you how I trim the hydrangeas as well really quick. So most of the hydrangeas I've already pruned, and hydrangeas, again, there's lots of many people do it different ways. There are different kinds of hydrangeas. Okay, so today is actually the following day. We couldn't get to finish our video yesterday because it was so much noise. Everybody was working around us, and it was keep raining on and off. So today it's a lot better day. It seemed very peaceful. It's a little chilly, but it's not bad to be outside at all. So what I wanted to show you today is how to prune the hydrangea. So this hydrangea is called Sunday Fraise, strawberry Sunday, and these are pinnacle hydrangeas. They do bloom on new wood, so you can prune them in the spring. That's not a problem at all. So for example, here you can see this is hydrangea microphylla, or big leaf hydrangea. Now these hydrangeas, they do bloom on old wood. Some of them are also new wood. But for example, if the ideal way to prune microphyllas is to prune them in the fall, because in the spring, if we go ahead and prune, then we will probably lose quite a few of the flowers for the spring. So it is ideal to prune them in the fall and not in the spring. In the spring, we can also do a little bit of a trimming. Sometimes there is dead wood or whatever, we can remove that. But for the biggest pruning is for the fall, in the fall. However, the pinnacle hydrangeas or arborescent hydrangeas, they need to be pruned in the spring. And so I'll go ahead and start pruning. And you can see they are getting big. They're looking really good. But for example, right here, it's already starting to bud. Usually I will cut them in right before the bud, because if you cut them right here, for example, this wood from here to the bud, it will dry out and die. So it is ideal to cut them close to the bud. So I will prune them right there. And you can see the cut for last year was right here. So wherever we cut this, it will split and branch out more, and it's really good to prune, because then it will be more branched, more of a healthy bush when we prune them. So, and for the shape, we just need to kind of look into what they will look like. So I try to make more of a mound shape. For example, I will take down a little more on the sides and leave it up a little more, so it has a really nice shape. But this is, for example, I will not take down too much, because this is a really very good established branch, so I'm not going to cut too much. I'm just going to cut just to prune here like that. It is also ideal to remove some of the very thin branches, like these ones here. I probably will remove and leave a nice strong branch, so there's not too many spindly, and that also will give us a really nice strong bud as well for the flower. He's so playful. This one is that. Okay, so this is what it will look like. I did remove quite a few of the little branches, like this one I probably would remove. It's very thin. It almost looks like it's dead. This is dead for sure. So this is how I trim my pinnacle hydrangeas. Also, I will show you how I trimmed already the arborescent hydrangeas. And many of you guys who has been following my videos, you have seen that I do have a big hydrangea avenue created here. These are incredible hydrangeas, which is the strong version of Annabelle. It's more improved, so they don't flop as much, and I do really like them. Now these hydrangeas, you can also prune them completely to the ground and they will come up, because they bloom, because they do bloom on a new wood. That's not a problem at all. For me personally, I feel like if I leave some, it keeps the stems more strong and they don't flop as much. So I do like to prune about kind of this size. So I did go ahead and finish my pruning here. So now let's go ahead and prune. I have a clematis that I have to prune. So let's go ahead and prune that, and I'll show you how I am pruning the clematis. And most of them are already pruned for me, but I did leave this one so we can do it together, and I can show you how I am doing this. So you can see in this container we have a clematis indigo violet, which is the purple, indigo purple. There also, I think there is another variety called indigo blue, which I do have, or sapphire indigo, I think, and that's more of a blue color, and I do have them in as a ground cover in the other beds. So this one was supposed to be group 3 clemata, which belongs to pruning group 3, and for the group 3, normally you can just cut them completely down. For example, right here, let me show you. I just purchased this clemata. It's an Arabella, which I have another one in the garden. I think I planted in one of my videos with you. And you can see this is a pruning 3 clemata. And you can see how all the new shoots are coming from the ground up, from the root right here, and all the stems are dead. So when I plant this clemata, I'm going to prune the entire dead wood down all the way to the ground and let the new shoots come out. And you can do that pretty much for all group 3 clematis. Also, group 3 clematis are very easy because, like, you know, first of all, it's easy because you can just cut the whole thing. But also, group 3 clematis are good just because they seem like they do bloom. They have a longer blooming period in the summer. Their flowers are not as flashy as group 2, but they do have a longer blooming period, and that's what's so nice about the group 3. And these clematis for me bloomed literally all summer long. It was amazing, and I cut them. I made flower arrangements with them last summer, and they actually had a really long vase life. They were very beautiful in a vase. I was assuming that I need to prune them completely down, but as you can see, I have new growth coming up on this clemata. So this was indicated in a description that this clemata belongs to the group 3. However, group 3 usually does not come on an old wood. They do, as I showed you in a group in Arabella variety. You could see that they are coming out from the ground up. So because of that situation, I'm going to change this pruning system. And I'm going to treat this plant as a group 2, as a clemata that belongs to group 2 pruning. And so you can see most of this see all the new growth. And this is really good for the clematis to wait a little longer because it will indicate where the new growth are. So had I go ahead and cut all of this down, it probably would have come back fine, but I would have lost all of these strong vines, and you can see I would have lost lots of flowers. At this point, it looks like it came up to here. This is all dead, so I'm going to remove this whole thing, for example, right here. And then we'll go around and see because I did this one here already, and you can see this is how it actually looks like. I left lots of the new growth. Anywhere that it's coming out and it's starting to green, I basically left alone. So here we'll just go ahead and remove everything that is dead. So this is right here where the eyes are coming out, and you can see this green right here is where it's going to leaf out. So this is where I'm going to do my cut. And same way right here. And then be very diligent at looking, because sometimes it can be deceiving. Even if you do a wrong cut, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just sometimes it takes attention to make sure that we don't lose our blooms, and I don't want to lose blooms. So okay. So here I'm gonna take what. So this part here I'm going to disregard or to throw away. And then we can see we have a branch here, and we'll determine. So, okay, here we go. Let me get this tie. And it's if you can, sometimes it's nice to untangle everything so you can see what's happening with it. And the easiest way to untangle is getting a lot of the dead stuff out. So this one looks like that's going to help to remove. Okay. So this one here, you can see this is where it started. So this is all dead. I'm going to remove this. I actually really enjoy pruning clematis, and I don't know why, but it's kind of very peaceful to me to just kind of come here and try to clear out all the dead, and I don't know, it's very therapeutic or something about it that I like. So here, we'll take that. So these are the antlers. It's antlers, right? No, tendrils, not the antlers, sorry. These are the tendrils. And these are the tendrils that was green last summer. So basically it throws tendrils with which it tries to cling itself, and it wraps itself around on a structure and tries to climb up. The following year, these tendrils get really woody, and and they basically are not going to serve in any purpose except to make it just really messy and help to tangle everything up together. So I usually every spring I just go ahead and remove all of this, so I don't have more of a mess for the summer, because when they grow, then it would be really difficult to remove them. See right here, there is a growth. I'm glad I didn't cut that, because sometimes it's very, you have to really pay attention. I almost cut this part right here without seeing that little bud right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back. And then clematis also, they like to be fertilized. So I always try to, in the spring, when I cut this, I'm actually going to fertilize. You can fertilize clematis with the regular fertilizer. I like to use, if you have proven winners fertilizer, the water, not the water soluble, but the other one, the slow release fertilizer, they actually really love that. If you don't have them, you can use just any kind of regular fertilizer. Anything that you use for roses, you could also use for clematis, I believe, or just any fertilizer. I do like to use slow release fertilizer, because that way it sits around the roots and just feeds the vine the entire season. For the clematis, also I wanted to mention, you can treat them like annuals. So even if when you, for example, use high phosphorus fertilizer for the clematis, it would help them to bloom it will help blooming for the third group, but for the second group they don't bloom all the time, so if forcing them is not going to make any sense, because they only bloom in the spring and then they also bloom in the fall, but forcing them is not going to help. So regular fertilizer for clematis is good. I found that for the group 3, because they're very floriferous, what was the word? Anyway, they bloom all the time, so they push out blooms all the time. They do benefit from the water soluble fertilizer, like for higher phosphorus fertilizer, which helps them to keep blooming. I think they do benefit from that as well. Prolific, that's the word I was looking for, prolific. So Okay, and so you can see here it looks really, really nice, clean. They are not going to get tangled and make a big mess where, you know, we just get all confused and be like, oh, I don't know how to deal with it. It's a mess. But this way we have a really good fresh start. And then I use these little ties which really help me. I like them a lot. And I just go ahead and attach them to the structure. Make sure that they don't get broken, because sometimes this time of a season we have lots of winds. And then when I tie them, I don't try to tie them really tight. I do need to give them a little place for the movement, because if the strong wind comes through, it can break because they have no way of moving. Then they will damage the vines. So I try to keep it tied, but not very tightly. Give them room to be flexible in case there is a wind, but they still will stay in the same place. I have a ton of little ties here, so I'm going to use some of these. Okay. And so this is how I work with clematis. Clematis are also you have to be a little bit gentle with them because their vines can be very fragile. Sometimes they just easily broken. So usually handling them, you kind of have to be a little more gentle. But this is what it looks like. So then I just need to come back and give it some fertilizer, good food, and it will bring lots of beautiful flowers for the spring. I love how these containers actually did come out. So for me, really enjoy the clematis here. They bloomed all summer long. Beautiful. So, and then I just wanted to show you what's going on really quick. You can see here we have daffodils that are coming out. There's lots of weeds that I have to remove, but you know, the thing is, I wish I could present you a little better and clean garden at the moment, but unfortunately what happens, but this is what happens when we leave for a little while and come back, and then we just start working again. I mean, you know, I'm trying not to stress about it. We'll just, you know, start working and get them all cleared up and get them all back into normal. But in the meantime, there is so many pretty things that we can enjoy here. I wanted to show you that this is Japanese anemone, and look at how it has spread. Look at this. I do love them. They're not super tall. They're short. They're beautiful, but I think they would be really pretty. So I'm debating. I probably wouldn't remove any of these. I might just let them naturalize because it was really pretty last summer when it was blooming. But I can, you know, I had other ones in a different part of my bed, and it took them long time to naturalize. I've been trying to get them going, but you know, they barely have. But this one, within 1 year, I came back from the States. I was looking at the beds, and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this. This is all Japanese anemone right here, just from this plant. It has naturalized. So I'm gonna let them kind of do its thing for now and see where I get. I have some right here as well. So I will probably leave it alone for now. And then I have some pretty tulips here that are coming up from past plantings. Look at the weeds are so bad, but it's okay. We'll get there. Yeah, these are really nice. Look at this. It's really pretty. They're all coming out. There is some beautiful color here. The roses are pruned. The most of my pruning is done. That's what most pressing task for me when I arrived, cutting all the peonies and removing. So lots of peonies that I had to prune. Everything is done. And look at how beautiful this peony looks. I mean, this peony hasn't even been blooming yet, but it's such an architectural structure, right? Just looking at it coming up, I think it's just gorgeous. To me, it's so beautiful. And then here we have our container. This container, so many things are just so crooked. We have to all straighten out and stuff. But for now, this header. So this container, I went ahead and planted last fall, right before I left to go. And I left in such a hurry that I didn't really had time to do any fall work last year. So I just planted this and then left. But you can see the tulips are coming out. I planted some tulips here. It looks like it got quite dry when I was gone, so something suffered a little bit. But since I've been back, I keep looking after it, and everything is starting to bounce back. But this header right here, I think this is a header. It's so beautiful. I think this one's I'm definitely going either to leave in a container or probably will plant in some other spot in the garden, because I love that lime green with the green. Really cool. And this one, I don't know if it's from the dryness or what, but definitely has changed color. Maybe it's blooms. I'm not exactly sure, but I love their structure. I think it's so pretty. And this heuchera is really gorgeous. This one is a forever purple. I do have forever red in other parts of the garden, but the purple is also really beautiful. So this is a new hydrangea I just planted not too long ago. I think I have one right there, so I'm trying to keep them blue. This one was blue when I bought it, but I did give some more acidic property to keep them blue. I probably will go ahead and find another one for this side, so will be 3 hydrangeas, and this is a really good spot for hydrangeas, because I think it gets enough sun, but underneath this container it keeps enough shade where they benefit from it. Some other like sun-loving plants don't do well here, so I thought hydrangea would be really nice, because the blue with the green and yellow with the colors of euonymus would look really nice. Anyway, that's what's going on here. This tree is looking so. Last year I had some blooms. This is a red sentinel crabapple. And I was really, really excited to plant this tree here, because for its fruits, because it's so decorative and beautiful. It bloomed last year, but because I was gone last fall, I didn't even get to see these gorgeous little apples that it creates. And I came back in the spring, and I just was like, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. I'm very, very excited about it. So right now I do need to go ahead and trim them and clear them out, because it's going to start blooming again, so I need to remove them. But they're just so pretty, and I thought it'd be so gorgeous to make flower arrangements with them as well. It'll be really pretty. Also, the other day I did go and cut a little bit of this magnolia branch, and was still in a small bud like this size. I put them in my in a vase at the house, and they did so well. I never done this before, but they started blooming. The flowers are open now, and it's gorgeous. So they're actually really great for the flower arrangements as well. I might try to cut from the top a little bit to keep it so it doesn't go too far up. I don't know. I'm debating, because I don't want to get super tall. But for now, it's fine. So here we have really nice hellebore. I love this hellebore. I don't know the name. I bought them from the garden center a while back, and it's double. It has such a pretty kind of, I don't know, look at this, lavender white, so beautiful. And I love how tall it is. This has been one of my favorites. Very, very beautiful. And then here we have, look at this. This is a Japanese maple. This is an orange dream, and it's starting to leaf up. Look how beautiful the color is for the spring. And I think what I will do is, as soon as they start, all the Japanese maples start leafing out, we'll go around and see all the spring beautiful color of the Japanese maples. I think it's going to be really great. I have one more thing to show you in the garden at the moment, and that's Clematis armandii. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And here, I pruned all the roses. I do have some anemones coming out, blue ones. I've had such a great luck with them. I think I'm going to plant more of them this fall for the spring color. So here, these hyacinths are looking really beautiful too. I don't even remember planting them here last year. I haven't really cleaned here much because they're coming to help me to finish cutting the tree branches that are too much far out, and it's going to make a really big mess here, so I'm waiting for them to do that on the 18th, and then after that I will go ahead start raking and cleaning. But this part here, I just wanted to show you this Clematis armandii. I'm sorry I left the hose, but this is looking really pretty. This is a beautiful clematis. This is an evergreen clematis. This one is called armandii apple blossom. I think there is another one called snowdrift. The snowdrift is more white, but apple blossom has that beautiful tint of pink, which is really, really pretty. So anyway, so this is what I wanted to show you today. Again, we are keep working and trying to get stuff done here and clean up. I cut some of the palm branches to get them cleaned up here. And this is a really beautiful magnolia. This one is a fairy magnolia white, and it's an evergreen variety and has a really beautiful smell. So it's starting to bloom. Very beautiful. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. There's stuff going on everywhere. I need to get busy. Hopefully soon we'll have beautiful blooms and I can show you everything in their prime in the garden, and it's going to look, the garden will be in much better and neater place as soon as I start getting things done. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again for all the subscribers. If you like them, please do subscribe to my videos. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.